My beloved child, when dark clouds overshadow the horizon of your life, when you feel as though there is no way forward and your silent cries go unheard, know this: I am right there with you, not far away, not indifferent, not forgetful. There are days when you are not only physically exhausted but also crushed in spirit. You try to be strong, but something inside you begins to crack. And in that moment when you feel you are about to collapse, I speak to you in a whisper that is gentle, yet powerful. Do not give up. I love you. Oh, do you know the weight you carry in my heart? You are not just a drop in the ocean of humanity. You are not diluted among countless other souls. You are a unique being, engraved in the palm of my hand. There is no pain of yours that I do not feel. Not one tear of yours falls without being gathered in my bottle. Psalm 56:8. My child, when life becomes harsh, it's easy to believe I've forgotten you. When your prayers seem unanswered, when the doors you long for remain shut, when people turn their backs and all good things slip away, you feel abandoned. But it is precisely in those moments that I am holding you closer than ever before. My love is not fickle or conditional. It does not waver like human love, praising you in success and retreating in failure. My love is an everlasting covenant, one sealed by the very blood of my only Son. On the cross, where pain became the source of life and death became the doorway into eternity. I know you're tired. I know you're confused. But don't let that make you forget who is walking with you on this journey. I never promised you would be spared from every storm, but I did promise that my arms would carry you through every tempest. Look back. How many times did you think you would break, and yet you are still here? Still breathing. Still hoping, because I was there, even when you couldn't see me. My beloved, do not let temporary emotions steal your eternal trust. Do not let present circumstances define your worth. In my eyes, you are of greater value than anything I have ever created. I formed the stars, yet I call none of them child. Only you, a small and fragile human, have the honor of being called a child of the Most High. When you are weary, think of me. Don't try to be strong on your own. Don't carry the weight of pain without drawing near to the source of strength. I did not create you to fight alone. I created you to be led, to be nourished, to lean on my shoulder when you cannot stand. It is in your weakness that my power is made perfect. 2 Corinthians 12:9. Come to me, you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Not an escape, but a rest that restores. I will lay my hand upon you, and what was broken will be healed. What was shattered will be made whole. What was lost will be redeemed. For I am Jehovah Rapha, the Lord who heals you. Listen closely. My beloved, what you are going through is not the end. It is merely a chapter in a far greater story. One day, these very wounds will become your testimony. These very tears will water the fields of future hope. And you, the one who thought you would fall, will stand firm. Not because you were strong enough, but because I never let go of your hand. My beloved child, in a world filled with voices that try to define you, have you ever asked yourself, who am I truly in the eyes of God? Are you merely one among billions of people existing on this earth? Are you just dust, easily forgotten in the whirlwind of time? No, no. My child, in my heart, you are never an accident. You are an intention crafted from eternity. I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. I chose you not because you were outstanding, strong, or worthy, but simply because I love you. That's it. My love does not originate from what you do. It flows from who I am because I am love. You are the work of my hands, not of blind fate, not of forced circumstances, but of the wisdom and will of the Creator. I shaped you from the dust, breathed life into your nostrils, and gave you something no other created being possesses, my image and my breath. You carry a divine imprint. You carry within you the seed of eternity. When you are wounded, I do not merely see your pain, I feel it as if it were my own. When you are rejected, I, too, am rejected. When you feel worthless, I, the one who gave you worth, am whispering with deep longing. You are my treasure. And you may ask, if I fail, will God still love me? But hear this clearly. My beloved, my love is not tied to your performance. I am not a father who smiles only when you succeed and turns away when you fall. I am the Father who searches for you in the dark, runs to embrace you in the mud, and covers you with the robe of royalty. You are the redeemed not with silver or gold, but with the innocent blood of the Lamb. Every sigh you make does not go unnoticed. Every groan within your heart, I hear it as if it were a cry from heaven itself, because you are not just a soul, you are my delight. The reason I endured the cross, the one I will never forsake. Do not let your past define you. Do not let failure speak lies over your worth. I am the one who defines you, and I call you chosen, beloved, forgiven, restored, and sent. In my heart, you are not marked by shame, but by the blood that has cleansed it. I do not see you as the world sees you. I see you through the lens of grace. You are the temple of my Spirit. Do you know what that means? It means my very presence dwells in you, not merely around you. You don't need to run to a holy mountain or some distant sacred place to find me. I am within you. I move in your heart, in your thoughts, in your dreams, in every tear you shed. And because of that, you are not as insignificant as you think. You are not small in my divine plan. I have written your name in the book of life. I have assigned you a portion of the work of the kingdom own that no one else can fulfill. You are a link between heaven and earth. You are light in the darkness. You are a voice of truth in the midst of chaos. My precious child, I know there are days you don't feel this. There are moments when you look in the mirror and see only disappointment, weariness, and weight. But I want you to learn to see yourself not through the eyes of the flesh, but through the eyes of the Spirit, because only my vision speaks the truth. You are not just someone trying to survive. You are my warrior. You are not just seeking hope. You carry that hope within your very soul. And above all, you are the one I love, the one I uphold, the one I will never give up on no matter what. My child, I know there are days when you wake up without the strength to begin, not because your body is weak, but because your heart has been burdened with too much. The nameless worries, the weight of expectations, the dreams left unfinished, and the disappointments that come, one after another. All these make you want to stop and to disappear in silence. But my child, it is in those very moments that I call you not to run away, but to return, not to a place, but to me. When you are weary, think of me. Do not think of the pressure. Do not dwell on your weakness. Do not rehearse the accusations you heap upon yourself. Think of me, the one who never grows tired, the one who gives strength to the weak, the source of life that never runs dry. Do you believe you must be strong before you can come near me? No. My beloved, it is precisely because you are weak that I invite you. I do not come to find the perfect. I come to heal the brokenhearted, to lift the weary hands, to restore those whose eyes have lost their light. Look at those I have chosen. Moses grew discouraged in the wilderness. Elijah collapsed beneath the broom tree and begged to die. Jeremiah wept over a hardened nation. Even my only son Jesus sweated drops like blood in the Garden of Gethsemane. Do you see? Even the holiest of hearts have known exhaustion, but they did not remain there. They chose to return to me, and I restored them with power from heaven. My beloved child, every time you think of me in your weariness, you are opening a spiritual gate through which living waters flow. Strength does not come from striving, but from surrender. When you admit your helplessness, I begin to move. When you stop fighting in your own strength, I enter the battle. And when you come to me, simply with your exhausted heart, I will fill you with my very presence. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Isaiah 40-31. This is not a poetic phrase, but a promise etched into the lives of generations. When they came to me, they did not leave the same. When they offered me their weariness, they received the wings of eagles. Do not be ashamed of your weakness. Do not condemn yourself because your fire isn't what it once was. I do not measure you by the volume of your prayers, but by the depth of a heart that seeks me even in emptiness. I do not need your perfection to act. I need your surrender to pour out. So when you are tired, sit with me. When you cry, let your tears fall in my arms. When you don't know what to pray, just breathe the words, Lord, I have no strength left, and I will hear. I will respond. I will komeno as a distant king, but as a tender father, ready to carry my weary child close to my heart. My child, the world teaches you to strive, to toughen up, to prove your worth. But I say, be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. In that stillness, you will hear my voice. In that surrender, you will sense my power. And in that simplicity, you will walk into a strength that does not come from you, but from heaven. My beloved child, if you could see into eternity, if you could hear the echoing voice of heaven, you would know that there is one truth that has never changed. Though time passes, though hearts shift, though you stumble many times, that truth is, I love you. Not with a fragile love like morning dew, not with a love swayed by the emotions of today or tomorrow. The love I have for you does not come and go, it is eternal, unshakable, unconditional, and without limit. When you fail, that love remains. When you turn away, I still wait with patience. When you get lost, I do not abandon you. I seek you in every dark corner of your soul. I love you not because you are perfect. I love you because it is my unchanging nature. I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, I have drawn you with loving kindness. Jeremiah 31:3. Maybe you've thought, how could God love someone like me, someone who has failed, grown cold, or doubted? But my child, it is precisely because I am holy and merciful that my love is not limited by your weakness. I have seen your entire life from your first breath to your last, and still, I have chosen you. I have seen your tears in loneliness, your moments of choosing wrongly, your cries when you felt like giving up, and I did not turn my face away. On the contrary, I drew nearer, reached out my hand, and gently called your name. You can do nothing to make me love you more, and nothing you do will make me love you less. My love does not waver with your actions. It is anchored at the cross where love and justice met, where Jesus, my only Son, shed his blood not because he was guilty, but because you needed rescue. That love is not cheap. It cost everything, so much so that all of heaven held its breath as my Son cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" So that you would never have to say those words yourself. And because of that love, I will never leave you, whether you feel it or not, whether your emotions are clouded by darkness, whether your situation screams, "God has left me," there remains one unshakable truth: I have never abandoned you, and I never will. When you no longer have the strength to pray, I am praying for you. When you have no words to say, my spirit is breathing groanings too deep for language, echoing all the way to the throne of glory. My beloved child, I do not walk away from your life because you make mistakes. I do not withdraw my hand because you doubt. My love is not like human love, fragile, fleeting, or easily swayed. My love is a refuge where you can rest without fear of judgment. It is a place where you can return without shame. It is the place where you are washed clean, restored, and called by the name I gave you from the beginning, beloved. When you feel alone, do not trust that feeling. Trust the truth. And the truth is this: I am with you. I walk alongside you. I carry your burdens, and nothing, neither death nor life, neither angels nor powers, neither the present nor the future can separate you from my love in Christ. Romans 8:38-39. Do not run from me when you are weak. Run to me. I am the shelter of your soul. I am not seated in condemnation. I stand with open arms. Whether you come to me in tears, in silence, in disappointment, I will receive you. Just as the Father embraced the prodigal son, asking new questions, demanding no explanations, but rushing to clothe him, to place a ring on his finger, and to celebrate, because to me, your return is simply the sign that love has triumphed over all. My beloved child, among all that I have created, the blazing stars, the vast oceans, the towering mountains, and every wondrous creature, nothing is more precious than you. Do you know that? In my eyes, you are not just a small part of the grand picture of creation. You are its center. You are the reason I made all things, that they might serve you, not so that you would feel lost among them. When I formed the world, I did not hastily create you first. I made light so you would not walk in darkness. I shaped the land so your feet would have a place to stand. I called birds to sing, flowers to bloom, and streams to flow, because I knew your heart would be moved by beauty. Every detail of creation was designed to welcome you, and only when all was ready did I form you from the dust and breathe into you the breath of life itself. No other creature was given such a privilege. No other being was called made in the image of God. You are not an accident. You are the highest imprint of love and perfect wisdom. Do you think I am too busy managing the universe to care about you? No. My child, it is because of you that I care about every detail. Because of you, I count every strand of hair on your head. Because of you, I watch over every step you take. Because of you, I place reminders in every morning light. Every breeze, every fading sunsetto whisper to your heart, you are my priority. My beloved child, when you are sad, I listen. When you are silent, you still understand. When you have no words left to speak, I do not demand. I simply open my arms to hold you close. The world may look down on you, but I call you my treasure. Others may forget you, but I will never erase your name from my hand, because you are precious. The enemy always seeks to diminish you, to make you believe you are worthless. He doesn't need a violent storm to destroy you. He only needs to make you question your value. For once you stop seeing yourself as precious, you will no longer guard your heart, no longer dream, no longer fight for what is good. But I speak over you today. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of protection. You are worthy of living a life that reflects the purpose I placed in you. Not because you are perfect, but because you are mine. When I see a lost soul, I do not see garbage to be discarded. I see a buried gem that needs to be washed clean. When I see you in confusion, I do not rush in with anger. I am moved with compassion and ready to leave the 99 just to find you, because in my heart, you are irreplaceable. Do not let any voice make you forget your worth, not the voice of memory, of pain, of guilt, or of failure. Listen instead to my voice, the voice of your Creator, the one who saw you in your mother's womb and chose you for a life that is anything but ordinary. You are not a burden. You are a mission. You are not a problem. You are the solution I'm giving to this world. You are not overlooked in heaven. You are declared to be the bearer of the image of the King. And when the days go by, when every earthly achievement fades, one thing will remain unchanged. You are mine. And in my heart, you are always the highest priority. My beloved child, I know your limits. I know your body is weary. Your mind is tangled. And your soul feels like one walking through a desert, each step heavier than the last. You've wondered, how much farther can I go? There have been days when you've had to drag yourself through every moment, just to survive, just to not collapse. I see that, and I have never taken my eyes off you. You do not need to hide your exhaustion from me. I do not expect you to always be strong, always bright, always stable. I am not a cold trainer demanding that you meet a quota. I am your father. I am the one who holds your hand when you cannot walk, who carries you when your legs give way, who comes to you in the dark of night just to whisper, you are not walking alone. I give strength to the weary and increase the power of the weak. Isaiah 40-29. This is not an empty promise. It is my nature, for I am the source of life. Every river has its beginning, but I am the spring that never runs dry. When you draw near to me, you do not come to a limited well, you come to an eternal ocean. And if you are willing to lay down your burdens, I will give you restoration that does not come from sleep, but from my very spirit. Do you think you need to earn the strength I give? No. I do not strengthen you because you deserve it, but because you need it. When you are empty, I will fill. When you are broken, I will restore. When you are weary, I will become your wings. My strength is not like man's strength. It is not swayed by weather, emotion, or circumstance. It transcends all things, and I give it to you every time you come to me in surrender. My child, sometimes strength does not come like a brilliant flash of lightning. It comes like gentle dew, a quiet peace in the midst of the storm, a simple reminder in the middle of a long night, a quiet but steady courage, just enough to help you rise again. And then again, remember, I did not promise your life would always be easy, but I promised you would never walk it alone. I never said you would never feel weary, but I promised you would always have a place to rest. I am the shade in the heat, the water in the desert, the refuge in battle, the hand that holds you through the crashing waves. My child, Every time you feel like you cannot go on, stop not to surrender, but to fall into my arms. You are not weak because you need me. You are simply living according to your design. You are the creation, and I am the creator. And our relationship is not a competition, it is a union. I did not make you to run away from me, but to run to me when you are weary. And the wonder is this: every time you surrender, I renew you. Every time you cry in my presence, I do not just wipe your tears, I plant hope again. Every time you come to me with an empty soul, I pour in life, wisdom, clarity, and a peace that passes understanding. You may be exhausted, but I am not. You may be worn out, but I am not. And because I live in you, you will be renewed. Not just once, but every day. Not just when you win, but even when you're fighting through tears. So, my child, do not fear your exhaustion. Let it bring you back to me. And the one who formed you will raise you again. Stronger, deeper, and closer to me than ever before. My beloved child, there are moments when you stand before the mirror and no longer recognize yourself. The eyes that once shone with faith now grow dim with doubt. The voice that once overflowed with encouragement now echoes with self-blame. And in your mind, you quietly ask, who am I? Where have I gone? You are not alone. My child, many have walked through that place where the shadows of the soul blur their identity. But listen to me, even when you forget who you are, I have not forgotten. Even when you lose yourself, I hold fast to the name I called you from the beginning. You are the one who is called, the one who is chosen, the one who carries the imprint of eternal life. It is not your sin that clouds my vision of you. It is not your failure that can erase your name from my heart. When you turn your back, I still turn my face toward you. When you wander, I still watch every step. When you hide in shame, I still stand at the door of your heart and knock. Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has born, though she may forget? I will not forget you. Isaiah 49:15. Do you see? Even a mother's love, the greatest love on earth, can fade. But my love for you never will. My child, it is not your memory that defines your identity. It is my word. And my word does not change with emotions or circumstances. You may forget what I've spoken, but I never withdraw what I have promised. If I have called you light, you cannot become darkness. If I have made you a child of the covenant, then no situation can undo that truth. I know the burdens have dimmed the light within you. The mistakes have caused you to question your worth. But I do not see you through the lens of your yesterdays. I see you through the blood of my son, one who paid the full price for you. I do not see one who failed, but one being restored. And remember, the prodigal son no longer dared to call himself a son, only hoped to be a servant. But the father never forgot. He is my son. Though he wasted the inheritance, though he lived recklessly, though he seemed as good as dead, he is still my son. And so it is with you, even when you feel unworthy. I call you by nomino, the name of sin, but the name I etched on my hand before time began. You may have forgotten your early dreams, forgotten what you once believed in, forgotten you were once brave, once burning with love for me. But I have not forgotten. I remember every prayer you whispered in your childhood. I recorded every tear you shed in the darkness. I have seen every step you've taken, both those that led you astray and those trembling steps back home. And I say to you today, you are still my child. There is still time. There is still hope. There is still a way home. Oh, I will restore what you thought was lost. I will awaken what you thought was dead. I will rebuild you from the ashes, not just as you were, but better, stronger, brighter. For I am the Lord who never forgets his own. I am the one who planted eternal purpose within you, and I will not let you die without fulfilling it. Even if you've lost your way, I am still guiding. Even if you've forgotten who you are, I am still calling you back. You are mine, and I am yours. My beloved child, I know there were moments you cried out through your tears. Why is this happening? There are chapters of your life you wish had never been written, memories you long to forget, events that seem to have buried your future. But hear me today. Nothing you've gone through is meaningless. No pain is wasted in my kingdom. I do not cause the wound, but I hold the supreme authority to use even the wounds and trials the enemy intended, turning them into the raw material of miracles. What the enemy used to destroy you, I will use to build you. What you thought was the end, I will use as the beginning of something new. Do you remember Joseph, betrayed by his own brothers, falsely accused, abandoned in prison? And yet, he stood on the throne and declared what all of heaven affirmed. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. Genesis 50:20. And I too intend good for you, even when you do not yet see it, even when everything feels like chaos, even when you don't yet understand why. For I am the sovereign and I never lose control. I do not perform miracles by avoiding wounds. I perform miracles by stepping into them, cleansing them, healing them, and turning them into testimonies of my power. You once thought that failure ruined everything, but I will use that very failure to teach you mercy. You thought that wound had stolen your voice, but I will use that very voice to comfort others who hurt as you once did. You believed you were too late, that you missed your moment. But I say to you, nothing is truly lost when it is placed in my hands. I, my child, do not only look at short-term outcomes, look deeper. Look farther to the grand design I am weaving. The memories you wish to forget may become the very places where I move the strongest. The seasons that felt wasted may be the ones where I quietly laid the foundation. Every crack in your soul I will not only repair, but turn into places where light breaks through. Every tear you thought was wasted, I gather and use to water the field of hope you thought had dried up. Every complaint, every sigh do not ignore, but transform into holy sounds, woven into the song of restoration that is coming. Believe this, I waste nothing. When you love me and walk in my will, then all things without exception work together for your good. Romans 8:28. The good and the bad, the choices made right and those made wrong, the things you understand and the things you may never explain, all of it is in my hands. And I am carefully shaping, arranging, and molding it into the very best, not only for you, but through you, for many others. So do not erase the dark chapters of your story. Do not cut out the parts you deem shameful. Offer them all to me and I will turn them into a living testimony. There is nothing more powerful than a person restored by grace. Nothing shines brighter than a life once shattered, now rebuilt by the hands of the Creator. My child, everything you've been through I can use, and I will not only use it for your present, but also to prepare you for your future destiny. My beloved one, I have heard your whispered words in the middle of the night. Lord, are you listening? I know every time you knelt in prayer, every tear you've shed, every petition you've repeated, yet nothing seemed to change. At times, it felt like your words echoed into empty space, as if the heavens were locked. But my silence does not mean absence, and my delay in answering is not denial. I am working even when your eyes cannot see it. You are a being confined by time, but I am the God who transcends time. When I act, I don't just respond to what you're waiting for. I see the entire picture. I don't merely answer a single prayer. I am shaping your destiny. And sometimes, the greatest gift I can give you is to make you wait, not to punish, but to protect and love. You may ask, why won't you answer now? But I ask you, if you received it too soon, would it crush you? Would it cause you to forget the giver? For I don't want you to have just a miracle, I want you to have relationship. You must understand this. In the waiting, I refine your faith. In the waiting, I strip away what is false. In the waiting, I let you hunger so that when you are filled, you will not forget the one who gave you bread. Look at those I have deeply loved. Abraham waited 25 years for a promised child. Joseph was imprisoned for years before he reached the throne. Daniel prayed for 3 weeks before an angel appeared, and that angel said, "From the first day you prayed, your words were heard, but I was delayed in the spiritual realm." Daniel 10:12-13. So, my child, do not let my silence make you question my love. Do not let time discourage your heart. I have never overlooked a single one of your prayers. Every quiet groan, every tired whisper of my name has reached my throne. You may be waiting for an external change, but I am renewing you from within. You may be longing for a door to open, but I am enlarging your heart, so that when the door does open, you walk through with maturity, not merely expectation, because what you receive is not more important than who you become while waiting for it. My beloved, maybe you do not yet see today, but tomorrow, you will understand. And when you look back, you will praise me not just for what I gave, but for how I gave it at the right time, in the right way, and according to my everlasting love. I am writing your story not with the pen of haste, but with the ink of wisdom. And when you surrender your waiting to me, it will lead not only to miracles, but to transformation. I know you are weary, but I declare, those who wait for me will not be put to shame. Isaiah 49:23. I have not forgotten your words. I am preparing the answer greater than you imagine, deeper than you hope, and more enduring than you believe. So, my child, be steadfast in the waiting, for even when you see nothing, I am still working. My beloved, have you ever asked yourself, what is all this for? Why must I go through so many valleys, so many turns, so many unexpected detours? Sometimes your journey feels disjointed, without rhythm. Sometimes you feel like you're merely surviving, not truly living. But today, I want you to know a truth that will change how you see everything. You are being led to a purpose greater than you ever imagined, deeper than you ever dreamed, and more sacred than you ever conceived. You are not wandering, you are being guided. My hand not only comforts you in pain, it also charts the course. And even though you don't yet see the full picture, I do. Even though you walk one day at a time, I see the destination. Even though you're in the wilderness, I see your Canaan. For I am the Alpha and the Omega, beginning and the end. I am not only present with you on the path, I created you for that very path. You were not made to live a life without direction. You were crafted with purpose, by one with an eternal design. And that purpose is not just to survive, it is to change the world in the way I have ordained. Every scar in your life can become a witness to others that there is a God who heals. Every time you rise from failure, You teach others how to stand by grace. I never allow anything to happen without purpose. And sometimes, the greatest work I do in you cannot be built on comfortable ground, but must be shaped in places where you thought you had been forgotten. Remember this. My child, you won't always understand, but if you obey, I will take you exactly where you need to be. Not where you want to go, but where you were born to arrive. I called Abraham to a land he did not know, but he trusted me. And a nation was born from his obedience. I called Moses back to Egypt, the place of his failure to become a deliverer. I sent Jonah into the belly of a great fish not to punish him, but to restore the calling he tried to escape. And I am leading you to perhaps, not by a straight path, but always by the right one. You may think you're lost, but from heaven's view, you are right where you need to be, being molded, tested, and guided into a greater glory. My child, you are not just saved, you are sent. You are not just forgiven, you are chosen, not to live for yourself, but to be a voice to a generation, a light in the darkness, a living word in dry places. And that purpose, though blurry now, will become clearer with every step of obedience. Do not try to see the whole path. Just hold my hand each day. For I know the destination, and if you keep walking, I promise, not one step will be wasted. Not one tear will be in vain. Every wound you've carried, I will turn into a weapon. You are not the product of chance. You are one destined for a sacred mission. And if you dare to believe, I will lead you to places even your boldest dreams could not imagine. My beloved child, when I created you, I did not merely breathe into you the breath of life. I fashioned your body to be a holy temple, a dwelling place for my presence, a sanctuary where my glory could shine forth. Yet amid the rush of life, you have forgotten this truth. You care for everything external, your work, your achievements, even your ministry, but you neglect your own body. You treat it like a tool to be used, rather than a gift to be cherished. And when your body cries out, when exhaustion crashes over you like relentless waves, you suddenly realize you have gone too far without the strength to return. I do not condemn you, my child, but I call you to awaken. Your body is not just flesh and bone, it is an instrument in my hands. It is the place through which I desire to move, to heal, to love, and to shine my light into the world. If that body collapses, how will you walk in the plans I have set for you? People often assume health is automatic until it slips away. But in my kingdom, health is not only a blessing, it is a stewardship. Every time you choose to rest at the right time, to nourish yourself well, to guard your peace of mind, you are partnering with the very life I have given you. And every time you ignore the signals your body sends, you take a step back from that source of life. Remember, the enemy does not only strike with spiritual wounds, it manipulates your physical body with exhaustion, sickness, and undisciplined living, because it knows a weary soul cannot hear my voice clearly. A drained body cannot stand firm in faith. A weakened vessel is easily pulled away from its purpose. My child, when you have no strength left to take another step, when your body and soul feel like they are falling apart, it is I, not your own strength, who becomes your strength. Do not let weariness convince you that I have left. Do not let a faint heartbeat or labored breath cause you to forget that I am the one who has held your life from the very beginning. I see you lying there not in a soft bed, but on the fragile edge between life and death. You may not have words to speak, but I hear the groaning in your soul. You may not have strength to pray, but I count each strained breath as a silent cry that reaches the heavens. I am not far from you. Beloved, in that very moment when every human power has failed, I have bent down and touched you with a life that sickness cannot overcome and despair cannot devour. There are times you ask, Lord, why didn't you come sooner? And I answer, I was there in every second of your struggle, in every tear that fell, in every slowing beat of your heart. I was not late. I arrived exactly when you needed me most, not to pull you out of the storm, but to walk into it with you. Do you remember Elijah? He once defeated the prophets of Baal, called down fire from heaven, and witnessed my power firsthand. But then, he was exhausted. He ran away, collapsed under a tree, and begged to die, not because he lacked faith, but because he was depleted, and I did not rebuke him. I sent an angel with bread and water, because I knew, sometimes, what you need is not another sermon, but a moment of rest, not a reprimand, but a healing touch, not a push to try harder, but the assurance that you are not alone. So if today you are tired, if every cell in your body is crying out, if your mind is ready to surrender, know that I am closer than ever. I am the breath in your frail lungs. I am the pulse still beating in your heart. I am the one holding you when you can no longer hold yourself. And I say to you, my child, live, not by your own strength, but by the eternal life that flows from me. My child, I have walked into the place where life and death stand face to face. I have passed through the valley of shadows, the place where many believe hope is lost. But today, I declare to you, I am the one who has overcome death, and because I live, you also will live. Do you not realize that in the very moment you believed everything had ended? That was the moment I came closest to you, when your eyes closed in despair. It was then that I leaned down and whispered, you are not done yet. This breath remains, because I have held it with my very own life. There are places medicine calls hopeless, but with me nothing is impossible. There were moments you saw the faint light of death, felt your soul drifting from your body, and your heart beating one last farewell, and right there, I called you by name. My child, come back. I said, it is not time yet. I still have things for you to live for. Words yet to be spoken. Good works to fulfill in my name. Immerse, do you think it was you who returned from that brink? No, it was I who took your hand. I shattered the grip of death. I dispelled the darkness that surrounded you. When the doctors gave up, when the machines fell silent, when your body surrendered, I whispered, live. And you lived, not because you were strong enough, but because I never let go. Do you remember the widow's son in Nain, the dead body carried out of the city? Mourners weeping, hope shattered. But I, moved with compassion, touched the coffin and said, young man, I say to you, arise. And death stepped back. Breath returned. Eyes opened. And that young man sat up in the midst of death. I did the same with you, but not just so you could live again for yourself. I brought you back from the edge to show that I am the giver of life, in body, in soul, and in destiny. You no longer live as you once did. From that moment, you stepped into a new life, marked by mercy and miracles. So do not live as though you barely escaped death. Live as one chosen to bring life to others. Live as a testimony that when all else falls apart, there is still one who never leaves you. And if one day you find yourself once more standing at that fragile threshold, remember, the hand that once pulled you out is still stretched toward you, always near, always ready. My beloved child, when people look at you, they see a survivor. They see you standing, walking, smiling again, and they assume everything is fine. But I see the wounds no one else can touch, the broken places not on your skin, but deep within your soul. There are places you dare not name, memories you've locked away in dark rooms where no one visits. But I have entered those places, my child, and it is there that I am beginning the true work of healing. Do you think your pain is only physical? No. You are bleeding on the inside, weary, wounded, betrayed, tormented, brought low by things no one else sees. Your body may recover with medicine, rest, and time, but what your soul carries, only I can heal. I am the one who sees the soul and restores what no hand can reach. Remember the woman who had bled for 12 years? No one could heal her. No doctor was strong enough. No prayer seemed to work. But when she touched the hem of my garment, not only did the bleeding stop, but the shame, the rejection, the emotional agony of 12 long years vanished. I looked at her not as a patient, but as a precious daughter. Daughter, your faith has made you well. And true, in the same way, I am not only touching your body, I am touching your soul. I am healing the places you don't dare speak of, the nights you cried alone, the disappointments of unanswered prayers, the moments that made you think I had forgotten. I have heard every sigh, and I have not overlooked a single crack in your heart. My child, do not be afraid to let me in. Do not keep the doors locked. Open them, even the dark rooms, even the places you are ashamed of. I did not come to condemn you. I came to wash, to heal, and to make you whole. Not merely no longer hurting, but made new, rebuilt from the ashes you thought marked your end. Let me lay my hand upon your mind, where worry has worn you down. Let me place my hand upon your memories, where past sorrows still echo. Let me touch your heart, where fear has frozen your ability to love again. And you will see, I am not only the healer of diseases, I am the healer of broken souls. My child, I did not design your body to be neglected, drained, or forgotten amidst the whirlwind of life. I crafted it with my very hands, every cell, every strand of hair, every breath woven together with wisdom, love, and purpose. Your body is not a burden to bear, but a sacred instrument, a vessel chosen to carry my glory. So why, my child, do you treat it as if it were insignificant? Why do you stay up late, work until you collapse, eat carelessly, ignore pain, and call it devotion? You think that serving me means forgetting yourself, but I never taught you to sacrifice your body to the point of destruction. Devotion is not about self-destruction, it is about stewardship, so that you may have the strength to walk with me for the long road ahead. Do you not remember? Even my only son Jesus, when he took on flesh, cared for his body. He ate, he rested, he withdrew from the crowds to be alone with the Father. He even slept soundly in the midst of a storm. That was not weakness, it was wisdom. Because if you do not know how to rest in me, you will use exhaustion as an excuse to flee your very calling. I do not want you to live life as a race against time. I want you to walk steadily, one step at a time, with me. I desire your body to function under the rhythm of grace, not the pressure of performance. And for that to happen, you must learn to love your body, not according to the world's standards, but according to the value I have placed on it. My child, every time you drink water when thirsty, rest when weary, eat with intention, move your body with karit is not merely self-care. It is worship, for you are honoring the temple of the living God. Every small decision to preserve your body is a spiritual act of alignment with me. Do not wait until your body cries out from exhaustion. Do not wait until illness knocks at the door. I did not create your body to chase the world until it is worn out, only for you to come running back to me for restoration. I created your body so that you might walk with me all your days, fulfill every plan I have ordained, and finish the race not worn out, but victorious. To walk with me is not only to pray or read the word, it is also to rest in me and care for the vessel I have entrusted to you. Care for your body as a gift because I am the giver of that gift. And one day, when you look back, you will see your health was not just a foundation, it was a part of the sacred journey I walked with you step by step. My weary child, I see you. I hear every heavy breath, every tired step, every silent thought you dare not speak aloud. You have tried. You have walked in faithfulness. You did not give up. Even when your body felt like it was falling apart and your heart was clouded with doubt. But today, I come not to ask more effort from you, but to speak a promise over you. I will renew the strength of the weary. I will lift up the faint. I will exchange your weakness for my strength. Hear my voice. Child, come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11, Isarim Vishmuna. I am not calling you to come in perfection. I am inviting you to come in truth, that you are tired, that you are weak, that you no longer have what it takes to hold yourself up. And it is in that very place, the place of admitting your limits, that my grace will pour in. You do not need to be the strongest. You only need to be the one willing to lay your burdens in my hands, because I have already carried them for you on the cross. In every drop of blood, in every cry of pain, as I declared, it is finished. And, yes, I see you lying in bed, unable to rise. I see the tears you cry in silence, wondering if I truly care. And I answer you now, I do not only care, I am fighting for you. And I declare, those who hope in me will never be put to shame. Those who take refuge in me will be protected. Those who are weak, I will strengthen. Those who fall, I will lift up. Those on the verge of collapse, I will carry on my shoulders. So lift your head, my child, not because everything feels fine, but because you know the one who has promised is faithful. Place your hand on your heart and declare, the Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. Salme avish munai sara irba sara. I have spoken, and my words never return void. If I have promised to lift you up, I will. If I have said, I will restore your strength, then, even if tomorrow you still feel tired, life is already flowing into your cells, your breath, your every step. My restoration does not come like lightning, but it comes steadily like rain soaking the earth, like the sunrise greeting each morning, like love that never lets you go. My weary child, listen to my voice. I have chosen you. I am healing you, and I will not stop until you rise again, not merely surviving but living strong in my glory. My beloved child, listen carefully, for I do not speak to you alone, but to an entire generation that is weary, breathing through despair, and collapsing on the battlefield of pressure, sickness, crisis, and doubt. I am not deaf to the groaning of young people wrestling in the night. I am not blind to the sight of middle-aged ones lying exhausted on hospital beds, or the elderly gasping for breath in lonely silence. I am coming as a wind of resurrection, as thunder upon dry land, as a river of life flowing into places where hope has long withered. I declare, a generation shall be healed, a people shall rise from the ashes, an army shall be restored not by human might, but by my Spirit. I did not create you merely to crawl through life. I did not form your body, your soul, and your mind to be crushed beneath disease, anxiety, or the abandonment of society. You are my temple, and I am cleansing, restoring, and rebuilding you stone by stone. To this wounded generation, I call out, to those who have lain paralyzed, I will cause you to rise. To those who were shaken by medical reports, I will grant peace that surpasses understanding. To those tormented in their minds, I will turn chaos into divine order. To those burdened by generational affliction of disease, sorrow, and fear, I will break the chains and pour in new blood, the blood of the Lamb. This is the time, my children, when I will no longer allow you to suffer in silence. This is the season when restoration shall overflow not only upon individuals, but upon an entire generation, those who will rise and declare, I was once dead, but now I live by grace. Can you see it? Nurses praying over patients and witnessing miracles. Those who once battled depression, lifting their voices in praise. Those who survived suicide becoming beacons of light to the broken. Those wounded by hypocritical religion becoming shepherds of love. Those once enslaved by addiction preaching the gospel with scars that have been healed. Hear me, my child. I am not restoring just a few. I am raising up an entire generation called the ones who rise in my Spirit. Oh, that generation shall walk in divine health, not merely in human strength, but with power from heaven. They will live long, live deeply, and live with holy purpose. And no arrow of the enemy, cancer, stroke, despair, or self-destruction shall have dominion over them anymore. I have spoken, and what I have spoken shall come to pass. O generation of grace, of healing, of resurrection, rise, receive my Spirit, for the hour of revival has come. My beloved child, you have lived too long in a state of constant strain, always bracing yourself, always rushing. You pray without resting. You serve without pausing to refresh your soul. You love me, but you are living as though grace is something you must earn with your own strength. And I say, enough. Sit down. Breathe. Let me restore you. Prayer was never meant to be a burden. It is the natural breath of a living soul. But if you come to me in exhaustion, only to recite a list of requests and then walk away more anxious than before, you are missing the very heart of prayer, connection with life. I do not seek eloquence. I seek honesty. I want you to come to me like a child, raw, sincere, tired if you're tired, joyful if you're joyful, without the pressure to be perfect. Because it is in that honest place that I pour out my Spirit like living water upon a thirsty soul. And then I will teach you something you've forgotten: rest. Resting in me is not surrendering in defeat, it is surrendering in trust. It is when you say, Lord, I cannot do everything, and I don't have to. If you are the one working, it is when you set down your urgency, lay aside your burdens, and simply be still in my arms, knowing that even when you sleep, I am still moving. My beloved child, I do not need you to stay awake 18 hours a day to prove your faithfulness. I need you to know when to stop, when to say no, when to rest so that my life has room to flow into yours. There are miracles that only happen in stillness. There are words that can only be heard in rest. There are resurrections that only take place when you pause. And in that very moment when you rest in me, my spirit will come. Not in the roar of thunder, but in the gentle whisper. He will reset the rhythm of your heart. He will restore your mind. He will breathe new life into every place that was once dry and broken. You will rise again not by effort, but by union. When you live in the Spirit, even the smallest acts become great. Every step carries meaning. Every moment bears the breath of heaven. And you will walk out of weariness not by resting once, but by living a lifestyle rooted in me each day. Remember, my child, you are not called to burnout. You are called to relationship. And from that relationship, you shall live strong, whole, and filled with eternal life. My child, your body was not healed just to survive a few more years on this earth. It was not restored so you could do more, run faster, or strive harder in this fleeting world. No, my beloved, it was restored to become an instrument for my glory. You no longer belong to the shadows. You no longer drag your body like a burden. You have been marked by blood, by life, by eternal purpose. And every beat of your heart, every step you take, every breath you draw is proof that the living God dwells within you. Your body is not just a vessel to survive. It is the vessel through which my love is made visible in this world. Do you understand? When you care for your body in love and awareness, you are making room for me to work through it. You are not a soul trapped in flesh. You are a whole being whom I created, inside and out, to carry my light into the darkness. The hands that once trembled from sickness, I restore them to become hands that bring healing to others. The eyes once dimmed by tears and pain, I wipe them clean so they may see the hurting and bring hope. The feet once weakened by exhaustion, I strengthen them to walk through dry lands and proclaim the good news. The heart that once beat faintly now beats with strength. For me, for others, for things eternal. And then you will understand. So now also Christ will be exalted in my body, whether by life or by death. Oh, Philippians 1:20, my child, when your body is whole, do not live aimlessly. Do not spend that energy on what is fleeting. Ask me, Lord, today, where do you want me to use this strength? Who needs my support? Who needs an embrace, a meal, a word of encouragement? You were not restored to live comfortably. You were restored to live purposefully. And that purpose is that my glory would spread through your life, your body, your mind, and your spirit. Never forget, every strong step is a testimony of my victory. Every day you wake up with vitality is a song of praise to your God. Every time you live wisely, live awake, live in love, you are showing the world that the risen one is still moving. Live as one who has been healed, because that is who you are. And I will make your body, every muscle, every action, every decision into a harp through which my glory will forever resound. My beloved child, now that your body has been healed, your soul uplifted, and your mind renewed, I do not want you to return to your old way of life, the one where you were drained, neglectful, and forgetful of the truth that each day is a chance to walk with me. From today, I call you into a new journey, not merely to survive, but to live strong in grace and purpose. My grace does not merely redeem you from death, it empowers you for life. It gives you the strength to choose what is right, to live with balance, to resist the frantic pull of the world, and to walk instead under the gentle yet steady guidance of the Holy Spirit. You no longer have to manage everything on your own, for my grace is sufficient for you. Each morning as you rise, ask me this: Father, how can I use this body, this strength, to bring a smile to your face today? And you will see some days I will call you to rest. Some days I will send you to serve others. Some days I will teach you to say no to meaningless pressures. And some days I will lead you into places you never dared to imagine. But in all of it, you will never walk alone. I go with you. I dwell within you. I am the very source of life that flows through your veins. And the most beautiful part is this: when you live healthily in me, you become a spring of life for others. Others will look at you and ask, "How are you so peaceful in the midst of such chaos?" Others will marvel at the energy you radiate from caffeine. But from the Holy Spirit, others will come to you for wisdom, not because you are skilled, but because they see true life within you. My child, this new journey is not simply about health and wellness, as the world teaches. It is about a life fully united with the Creator, the giver of life, the sustainer of life, and the one who leads you in life. You will learn to eat not out of fear, but out of reverence for the temple of the Holy Spirit. You will train not for appearances, but from a place of disciplined love. You will sleep well, not because your tasks are done, but because you trust that your Father is still working as you rest. You will slow down not to fall behind, but to live deeper, stronger, and more grounded. And I promise you this: when you live in the truth that you are my child, you will discover that your health does not flow from vitamins, diets, or personal plans, but from my very presence within you. So walk, my beloved, not with pressure, but with purpose, not by striving, but in grace, not to prove yourself, but to reflect me. Your new journey begins here, the journey of a child who has been restored, chosen, and called to live healthy in everlasting glory. Amen. As a child of God, He is always by your side in every moment, constantly reminding you to live in faith and in the assurance of His love. Click follow and turn on notifications to hear the messages and meanings He longs to share with you. Amen.